Hello, everybody. I hope your week or day is going well. Today, I want to talk about tips for staying calm when things are getting a bit overwhelming. Just a couple tips I threw together in a new format, and I wanted to get some feedback, see how you guys like it. So, let's just get started here. Focus first on mindset because this is really important. You can't change the past, and the future hasn't happened yet. I feel like this is a really good mindset to remember, is a really good truth to remember. It makes us remember what's important in life. It's this present moment because the past has already happened and the future hasn't happened yet. So we could just remember that everything is okay in the present moment. There's no problems in the present moment. All the problems you have are just about the past or the future. There's really no problem now. That's a beautiful way to live life and to remember, because now we're not so stuck in the past or what happened or what might happen. We could just stay present. And the more we get present, the more we realize there's no problems in the present moment. The problems are just created by the mind, by thinking about the past or thinking about the future. If I don't get this in the future, or all these things in the past are making me sad. But really, the present moment is free of that. And the more that we could put our mind into the present moment and let go of thoughts about the past and the future, the more we're going to see that there's no overwhelm. You can't be overwhelmed in the present moment. Because the present is perfect just as it is. The present's just the present. It's like a present, right? So when we're solely in the present moment, then we're calm because we're not thinking about the past or the future. The past isn't bugging us, the future isn't bugging us. And from that calm space, we make actions and we have thoughts that are coming from a present space of not feeling anxious or overwhelmed. When we're just really present and calm, the things that come from that are way better than they're going to come from if you're feeling bad about the past or anxious about the future. This is a really amazing space to be in, and something that we want to strive to constantly keep coming back to, and remembering that the past already happened and the future hasn't happened yet. So why are we worrying about them? The present moment is where we should be focusing most of our attention. The present moment is where all of our salvation lies. And the present moment is where happiness is. You're going to find happiness now in the present. All events are neutral. So whatever happens, it's neutral, and it's how we frame it in the present moment that really determines how we're going to proceed in the future. So it's always coming back to the present moment. See my other video about framing events. I'll put a little link here. So the next thing I want to talk about is some systems and tools to help us here. So it's really important that we remember when we're going through our day, and I've been doing this lately and it's been helping me a lot, is to think about what is the most important thing, the one thing that I need to do today, and make sure I do that first thing. So if I do that one thing, then the rest of the day feels easy. Then I'm feeling like, oh, I'm not overwhelmed because I did that one most important thing the most important thing of the day. So when we're in life, we might feel like we have a whole bunch of to-dos, but really most of the time 80% of what we want comes from 20% of what we do. 80-20 rule, right? So we're trying to get our to-dos and focus just on that 80% and just focus on that one thing. Have your daily. I'm really trying to make my daily to-do list just one thing, and I usually write it the night before. So at night, I'm doing a journaling about the day. I'll do some more videos about journaling, and it's really nice to be able to brain dump. And then I usually, at that point, I know, if I did this one thing tomorrow, that's all I need to do tomorrow. And then in the morning, I review that one thing. I might change it a little bit, but I always have this one thing. That way, my to-do list doesn't get too big. So I like keeping a digital brain of this, like Evernote, or using something where I could just, like, if I have an idea or something, I just put it there. If I have a to-do that I want to do at some point, I put it in my to-dos and I forget about it until I go into and I'm looking at my to-dos. Or if I want to find something, then I know where I put everything is searchable in Evernote. So I just go in there and search it. Another important thing to remember is to stay aware of our emotions. We practice letting go. This has been huge for me. I also did another video on it. I think it was my first video about letting go of emotions, how important this is. When we feel an emotion, we need to remember to let it go. We need to remember to not hold on to it. And especially for the negative emotions, when we hold on to negative emotions, and we do this in subconscious ways a lot of the time, we don't allow ourselves to then rise up in consciousness because we're having these negative emotions constantly inside of us. We can let go of our emotions. That's the beautiful thing. Like, we could choose new emotions. We don't have to be stuck in patterns with our negative emotions. Letting go of our emotions is very powerful and helps me when I'm feeling overwhelmed, because I just, oh, there's an emotion here that wants to be felt. I feel it, and that's the process of letting go. Staying aware of negative thought loops, again, this ties in with our letting go of emotions, is really important, because when we get into a negative thought loop, it could just start pulling us down, and when next thing we know, we're not even aware. This thing is something bad's going on in your life, then that causes something else bad, and that causes something else bad. The key is to realize, just become aware. You don't need to change anything. I think when we're overwhelmed, if get overwhelmed that we're overwhelmed, like, overwhelming, I think, is this idea that we have to keep doing all of these things, and then more things pile up, and then more things pile up. The key to handle being overwhelmed is just to realize that you don't have to do anything. We could let go of all of our emotions, negative emotions that we're feeling, and breathe. Breathing is so powerful. You could do techniques like 6 in, hold for 6, out for 6, hold for 6, in for 6, and just follow this, and it already got me feeling more calm just right now. This is very powerful. Like, the brain and breath and your heartbeat are all interrelated, your brain waves, that is to say. So controlling your breath will naturally start moving your brain waves into lower brainwave frequencies like delta, alpha, theta waves, and you get into this nice rhythm when we remember to just take a step back. I think that's the real key here. All of this can be summed up is when you're feeling overwhelmed, it's like a bell that's going off, reminding you to step back and observe what's going on. How are you feeling? Remembering that you don't need to do everything that you're doing. You could just breathe. You could no matter what you're doing, you could always breathe and take a step back and release emotions. So this has been really powerful for me. Just a couple tips here, and I wanted to put out a video because they're really fun. So if you have any comments, I would love to hear them, and until next time, I'll see you later.